you get triggered because it has Charlie on there, right?
Because he was a racist, because he was a misogynist, and that means that you are too, because you are him. Get out! Get out of here!
He hated people. Yeah, just he hated anyone that wasn't white, that wasn't male, that wasn't straight.
Okay, ma'am. Maybe if you spent a little less time criticizing men for their misogyny and got on a treadmill, you'd have a better experience with men. My name's Elijah Schaefer, and this is The Rift, live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're talking about the No Kings protest that took place around the country this weekend, to where we found out the unthinkable. The left just wants to kill us. That's basically where we're at. And once we lose power, they might as well get their way. We have a great show for you tonight. We're talking about that, plus some insane things have been happening in development. Tron Ares came out. This might be the first non-woke movie from Disney in a long time. We'll talk a full-scale review on that movie, whether you should go see it with your family or not. Plus, Thomas Massey is trying to be unseated by Donald Trump. I thought that was kind of crazy. Additionally, we go down and we look at some things that were happening with Trump, Hamas, and the breaking of the ceasefire. I know it's a shocker. There's no peace in the Middle East. Anyway, it's approximately 7:02 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. Hopefully you guys like an episode where we don't do a long timer in the beginning. Let's start the show. Welcome back to The Rift. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's get a round of applause here. It's good to see you guys. I'm just happy to talk about the story because the No Kings protest happened over the weekend. And as you expected from the very tolerant left, the people that we've all come to know and to love as supporting freedom and all things good, decided that they were going to do what they did best. Check this out on the screen. They dressed up. That's so sick. He's dressed up as Charlie Kirk.
Oh, that's Charlie. Wow.
Yeah, you don't want to be laughing there, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just thought it was deranged one.
Well, he's deranged. This is not the only person who was mocking Charlie Kirk. Joining me to talk about the No Kings protest and whether or not we got rid of the king, Rift TV contributor Michael Hennessy of Snowflake News. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, happy to be here. Looks like we got a good show. We're actually starting on time, which, surprise, surprise. But yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, so let's talk about this. People went out this weekend in the millions, they said, one of the biggest protests across the country to get rid of the king. And like the last No Kings protest that we attended, I have good news for you, ladies and gentlemen. They were successful. There is no king in the United States, okay? They got rid of him. And the bad news is he hasn't been in power in the United States for hundreds of years, unless you ask Jack Cruz. In that case, he controls Israel and Israel controls the United States. Therefore, we're still under the control of the crown.
Fabians.
Those Fabians. Anyway, a lot of individuals were talking about how big the protest was. Was it actually as effective as they said? And why is it that it feels in this era, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that there's not as much resistance towards Trump? Does anyone feel like the weirdness? In 2016, it was just so much resistance. In fact, in 2020, they rigged an election. They say they didn't cheat, but they did boast about it in the Times Magazine, story about how they all came together, changed the algorithms, changed the censorship, and essentially forced him out of office. Whether it was a fair and free election or not, that was the case. And then for years, they censored us where we weren't allowed to question it. They went after the people at January 6th, acting like riots were this crazy thing after for an entire year, the left was burning down cities, rioting in the name of a drug addict who assaults pregnant women. And then the American people were like, maybe we should riot over a stolen election. And they're like, not that. Not that. In fact, you're all going to go to prison, in which Michael Hennessy got pardoned for saved from 5 years in prison. All right, let's jump right into this. So you brought up this footage. You saw this being shared around right here. Check this out. This aerial view going on of the protest, and people were sharing this, saying this was an incredibly big protest.
Huge turnout.
Huge.
Look at that. Yeah.
This is a massive.
Sea of people.
Some people say it's as big as it can get. But you brought up something interesting. The footage that they're showing on X right now to show how successful this protest against Trump was might not exactly be accurate.
It's actually a video from 2017. So, yeah, they're at it again over there at MSNBC. But not a surprise.
Yeah, it's the 2017 Boston protest.
Yeah, it's
which
not
is
even
kind of weird.
It's not even close.
No, I know. All right. And as we talk about this, guys, we're going to be looking at some of the crazy outrage we find that the left just wants to have us murdered. Don't forget that we are available on audio-only podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever else you can find us. And also just know, too, that we are going through some transformations here at the company. And so, we appreciate your support as we adjust, and we're going to kind of be expanding the show a little bit to make sure that we are hitting the topics. But, of course, we can't do that without our lovely sponsors. And I'm thrilled to tell all you guys, remember, we are sponsored by Blackout Coffee. And, guys, I know everybody drinks coffee, and you're like, why this company? Well, here's the thing. Number one, they support this show, and they support your morning. I mean, that's like the two greatest things. Maybe you're, wondering what to drink in the morning. You're like, you get your beans from wherever. Check these out, by the way, especially the light roast, which is the smooth finish right here.
And it's actually really good. I have it here in my coffee cup now. We don't have a sink in the office, so kind of substituting with a plastic cup inside. But yeah, enjoying it very much.
Yeah, usually it's just Joey. He just opens his mouth and we just pour whatever's not used down.
You guys
his
know
throat.
the hashtag.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. But guys, they've earned over 32,000 5-star reviews for premium bold coffee. It's amazing. They share our freedoms. They stand with us, and it's rich, smooth, and crafted by good people. And so, guys, make sure you support your mornings with a good cup of caffeine right now at blackoutcoffee.com/riff. That's BLACKOUTCOFFEE.com/RAFT. Promo code RIFF for 20% off. Get your bag today. Make sure you grab a bag while you're at it. It's amazing coffee, and you don't want to lose it. So let's talk about this. So, I've been finding it kind of crazy. The double standard is something that I can't ever get over.
Mm-hmm.
That, I had a prostitute calling me out today on X, on X for saying that I'm unhinged sexually, and I'm going, okay, we're in a really weird world where like prostitutes think they have any like moral positioning to be talking to a man about their sexuality and their lifestyle. Things are very backwards, we're in a very odd position. And, as a woman who probably has been in a lot of odd positions, it's sort of, that's sort of the backwardsness where we're at. But I think everyone's really sick of the, anti-white double standard, of the anti-Christian double standard. If a Christian's killed around the world, it doesn't even make the news these days.
No, they don't care.
But if a Jewish person is killed, you break a ceasefire. We have to. Our politicians have to send letters to Netanyahu. Our envoys went to Israel to kiss the wall, to apologize. Like, there's a double standard in our country, particularly even against violence against men. Right? I mean, it's just a problem. When a black person kills a black person, we call that a crime statistic. And then the rare time a white person may kill a black person, even if it's in self-defense, they get arrested, they go to jail, and we're tired. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what we're supposed to do, because, you have this teacher here. Check this out. Obviously, Charlie Kirk, a colleague and a friend, was brutally murdered last month. We're never going to forget him, or Irina Zarutska, or Austin Metcalf, and the many martyrs who have fought for our right to express ourselves. And this teacher was glorifying getting shot in the neck to the Trump supporters down here. Okay, this was supposed to be a protest against Trump, but what we know from Charlie getting murdered and people mocking him, saying it was good that he died, right? That was shocking to a lot of people, but that didn't shock me at all. These people, they want you to die, and that's throughout all of history. This is not being cheesy. When lefties get into power, they murder all of their political opponents. Every single time. Yeah,
it's sickening to see. I mean, as you said, it's not a surprise that, we're seeing this type of behavior from them. But these are the same people who are like just freaking out the other day about leaked text messages, from the young Republicans group. And then here they are, they're mocking Charlie Kirk. They're dressing up as if they're, bloody and covered in this stuff. You have the lady pointing the gun at the neck. But I mean, this is just a behavior for them. They are not the party of peace and tolerance at all. They're actually the total opposite. And even the elected officials that they have on the Democratic side are doing the same thing. You have people, in the past with Black Lives Matter saying we need to take to the streets. There needs to be an uprising. I mean, they are not tolerant. What they are is they're actually very toxic, and they allow themselves to do this stuff. But God forbid, if we do anything, write a message to the boys or anything, then we're being under attack. So it's crazy.
Well, you know, and you also, by the way, you know this guy who held up this sign here, this Charlie Kirk sign,
Yeah.
calling him a hero. Charlie was a hero, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I mean, the fact is, like, okay, guys, today is one of those days where I know this is really not like news, right? And we're tired of the Democrat-Republican divide. It's actually kind of stupid. We launched our new show with Jordan Conradson, and one thing that he noticed, he was like, hey, you know, in the future episodes, I don't want to be doing this right versus left crap. Like,
Well, they want
like,
us divided. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really the whole thing is that's what they want. They want to have you have your two football teams. This way we're attacking each other and we're not noticing all the foreign money that's going out, how our country's being destroyed from within with our elected officials actually allowing it because, you know, their pockets are getting full. So this is just a way, you know, divide and conquer is the easiest thing. So it gets a little...
Well, I'm saying, like, you get tired of it because what you realize, you know, apparently this kid said Chicago PD made me take my flag down. You know, he's holding a flag about Charlie Kirk, and then people are saying he deserves to get shot too in the neck. This kid does. And then instead of them getting in trouble, the police being like, hey, you know, you're inciting violence and reprimanding the lefties, they always go after who? The white guy, the straight guy, the Republican guy, the conservative guy. They go after us because we're compliant. And one of the examples of this is what we saw with the speech coming out of the Young Republicans Club, right? What happened with the leaked group chat.
Yeah.
And Kevin Sorbo was essentially, he's being thrown to the wolves, which is very interesting because he put this up. It got so viral. He said, I don't care about your group chat leak, okay? And what you have here is a picture of Irina Zarutska. I still can't handle this. Like, I don't want to, I'm not making this about me, but every time I see this animal, this reprobate, disgusting, vile excuse for a soul, I don't think we need to live with people like this.
Someone with a history of
39 times.
39 times being arrested. The same with his brother. His father actually surprised didn't go out to get the milk. He stuck around but committed a bunch of crime as well. So it's just crazy what we're allowing, and it just continues. I mean, we even had what was it, Big Balls, who got, you know, that got attacked, and then they ended up letting the guy out with like pretty much nothing to get him out of jail. So
same with the guy. Well, it's not just here. You know, the student in Germany, the American who got his face sliced open. You know about that guy too. They let out the migrant as well that nearly murdered him. He has a permanent scar as he tried to protect a German woman who was being physically assaulted by one of these guys. And they let him out because they said that like he didn't know any better, you know? And you're going, we're living in a country where if you are conservative, just reminding you, if you get murdered, people will laugh. They'll feel good about themselves. It's even worse. You know, sometimes people quote Sam Hyde and they think it's funny. It's not just that they think it's funny. They're going to kill you and your children, but they think they're morally superior to you when they murder you and your wife, put your kids in foster care, sexually abuse them and turn them into transgenders. They're going to think they did a good thing for God. Like they're going to believe they serve God, right? So that's kind of like the crazy thing.
They do that, and then also if you go ahead and you try to, you know, intervene in any of these situations, I mean, like people like Daniel Penny, we've seen what they did with him. I mean, the guy came in, he stepped in, was protecting people on that train. And what they did is they dragged him through the mud. They treated him like a villain. And it's just crazy because that's what they want. They want us to be fearful, and they want us to allow the destruction and all this craziness to continue.
Yeah, like, and it's like, what do you mean they'll serve God? Well, let's see what's going on in the modern Protestant church today. And by the way, Lutherans, I've been very hard on Protestants recently. I understand that there's like the ELCA and there's splits in the churches. Like, I know there's a lot of very devout Lutheran churches, and I respect the Lutheran tradition a lot. I do. I think it's very close to Catholicism. I don't think that Luther meant for this to happen, but I think we see the dangers of breaking away from the church. I think the only break that I'm probably tolerant of is the Orthodox and Catholic split. The more you look into it, it's like very similar theology, very similar ideals. It's like disagreements over whether you need to have a beard or not, you know, to be a priest. Like that's what it comes down to, in my opinion. But you know, some of you guys is a lot more sensitive than that. However, I think we can all agree. I think we all need to get together. The traditional prots, the evangelicals, the Orthodox, and realize whatever this is not Christianity.
This is Bishop Katrina Foster, Lutheran Bishop of New York, and I'm here today with my new assistants to the bishop, Pastor Nicole Schwabe, Pastor Patty Avila. Now, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so I want you to open your ears, close your mouth.
I'm trying to talk about this. Is you ever notice this? All these liberals, they speak to us like we're toddlers.
Yeah.
Like, listen to this.
1 mouth, so I want you to open your ears, close your mouth, and listen as they tell you.
And so I want you to just open your ears.
I wish she would close her mouth, open her ears, and let a male actually lead the church. Because every time, I don't think they should be being the head of the church is something a woman should not be doing.
They can't be.
Yeah.
Right. So like there is no archbishop of Anglicanism. Like there is, the seat is vacant. And I mean this genuinely. It's like okay, everybody crisscross applesauce. God will speak to us. It's an infantilization of God, and this is why women are not allowed to be in the places of authority, because women are infantile in nature, but in a good way. Like, you know, when you go give a gift to your kid and then flowers to your wife, and you're gonna get a very similar innocent like reaction, like, oh, yay, give me flowers, and I'm like, dude, this is gay. You know what I mean? But like, no,
Stop doing that, Joey.
Yeah, it's like stop. But at the same time, I bring up the fact with this idea of like, this is what the church is in a lot of places. You go to DC, there's more gay flags and BLM signs in front of churches than anywhere else in the community. Listen to this. This is crazy. Listen to these people. Imagine these are your spiritual leaders.
What they are here to do. Pastor?
Hello, I'm Nicole.
Oh, dude, look at that pastor
God.
entrance. Watch this. Watch. Wait. Look at this
The little
pastor
hop.
entrance. Watch this. Look at how this pastor comes in.
Pastor?
Hello, I'm Nicole Schwabe. I'm the assistant to the bishop for discipleship and congregational relations. So we are going to work together on how you open your arms in love to your neighbors, how you love God and love.
What's up with the hyping in the back? You know, what's up with that? You know, I'll tell you this though. The 1990s classic lesbian pastor look, she's rocking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's trying to look
Especially
like a lesbian.
The first one really had it down.
Yeah.
And the pink shirt. Yeah.
Do you have a split with us to put us both up on the screen there with the? There you go.
There it is.
I don't know. We put you on the thumbnail and then you get excluded from the show.
I know.
It's like,
At least I finally made it to the thumbnail. You know.
Hey, soon
It's
you
taken
might,
almost a year of working, but yeah, we're getting
you might
there.
become pastor next. You know what I mean? Because it looks like there's a few that I don't know if these girls would like you, but look at this. Ready for this? Patty Avila will speak next. Here we go. We got to listen to Pastor whatever. What is she, dude? Dude, a dress with like a little pastor thing, like
Yeah, I don't think I could be pastor. I'm not feminine or gay enough for these ones.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Of neighbor well. So, hello, I'm Patty Avila, and I love Jesus and you love Jesus, but we have to tell the world about Jesus' love and grace, and I'll be assistant the bishop on evangelism.
So you heard the good news. So I want you to like this video. I want you to share this video. I want you to practice your faith, and I want you to tell everybody that Jesus loves them, and we do too.
Like, okay, so good messaging, right? Good messaging but wrong messenger.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what this reminds me of? And I keep meeting black white supremacists. You know, it's very weird. You know, you meet them, they're like, dude, we need to fight for we need to fight for the survival of our offspring. You go, our?
Yeah.
Who's our offspring, sir? But like,
I think a lot of people are actually getting black fatigue as well, as crazy as that sounds.
As crazy as it sounds, I'm so over
No,
it.
I mean, you hear it a lot too. Anytime they're pushing away from that type of behavior, they're always called like an Uncle Tom or something like that. So I think we're seeing more of that. But yeah, when they're like, we need to make sure we preserve the race, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, but like, okay, but with these people, I'm bringing up the backwardsness of the left. One of the things that is like the backwardsness is that you're going, I feel like we are in a dystopian nightmare. And I also, as somebody who's realizing the severity of what it means to see God, like I've been seeing sides of God right now. I brought a couple things on the screen today to say thank you to people. One of you guys sent me this, I think it's pronounced a choke key that you made for me, which is a prayer bracelet, which I did save on my phone, the front. the Orthodox prayers are really cool. It's just like really, really cool. You wake up in the morning and you make sure you get your heart right and you admit you're a sinner and you ask God for mercy and you're asking him for mercy for the day. Because oh boy, the boys in this office need a lot of mercy from God. Let's just say we need God's mercy. No, but everybody does. That's the joke, right?
Yeah.
That's the joke is that everyone needs mercy. But like, how can you wear a cross like that? And these people, I only brought this up because I have a video of people going to the No Kings protest that look just like this. These people went to like the No Kings protest.
Yep.
And they're like, we don't serve a king, we serve Jesus Christ. See you at the No Kings protest. What are people protesting? What are you trying to protest? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand either. I have no idea. I mean, as you said, they've accomplished, I guess, because we still don't have a king. But I honestly, when it comes to these protests, a lot of the things that we'll see later on, just the messaging on the beach, how they got everybody together, the great signs that they have. Somebody's orchestrating all this. There's no way this is organic at all. I love America. When we get upset, yes, we should be able to go out and share our voice, but we're not that organized.
No.
So when you see these type of events, you're just like, this does not seem right.
Shaney Rich interviewed some of them though. This is pretty gold right here. Watch.
Voter ID is racist, yeah? Like, should you need an ID to vote?
No, I don't think so, no.
Is it racist that CVS asks you for an ID to buy Sudafed?
Well, I think that there are certain people that should not be allowed to buy Sudafed, so I think it's a good idea.
So it's more important that you use an ID to buy Sudafed, but not to vote for the person that runs this country.
I'm not exactly sure.
Voter ID is...
This is the problem I'm talking about with brainwashing.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't understand how you can be a lesbian pastor. Like, I understand how you can be a lesbian. You just get molested when you're younger, right? And that's how you become one. But then I don't understand how you go, yeah, God ordains this. We were joking today, it's like you read the Bible. It's like, this is like, yeah, fornication is a sin. Whether you're going to do it or not is one thing as a human. Whether you're going to be a lesbian is one thing. I've been a lesbian for 23 years. And they do. They say you don't know what that tongue can
You
do.
remind me of a young Lindsey Graham.
Oh no, that's a different. That's a Hollyham.
Okay.
That's true. No, but you see like these people, like they don't even think through their positioning. But yet these are the most dangerous people because they can be manipulated to celebrate your death. They don't even understand. They think it's that the presidency is so important that we got to protest the current one. But then don't even realize that they just said it's more important to have an ID to buy, cold medicine than it is to pick that president. So they don't even understand the weight of what they're saying. And I think we've lowered our IQ. I think we're getting dumber, we're getting stupider. And I don't think we're smarter today than we were 100 years ago. I think we were getting smart up until what? The Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. It's kind of like idiocracy's already here. I mean, that's really what we're running into these people. And you see time and time again, as you mentioned, when they're interviewed, they're saying, why are you protesting? Why are you out here? And they don't have any, they'll be like, well, because of the policies. Well, what policy exactly? And then they can't say anything. They'll reject the conversation. So a lot of them are just NPCs that follow whatever's said. And you always hear that classic, they put feelings over facts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And guys, I want to remind you real quickly, in our last spotlight, we introduced something to you guys that we need to talk about. Now, the U.S. government has recently backed Canadian mining companies such as Trilogy Metals, which experienced a stock surge of over 200% following a $35.6 million investment for a 10% stake. Now, District Copper's dual country approach, merging its Canadian copper keg project with newly acquired U.S. assets, gives it a strategic edge in the evolving geopolitical landscape. Its partnership with Reacher Gold, experts in identifying undervalued U.S. assets, is designed to accelerate development and enable near-term production. With advancements at Copper Keg, a U.S. listing, and this key partnership, District Copper, CAXPF on the U.S. Stock Exchange, DCOP on the Toronto Stock Exchange may become a top pick for investors. The stock holds strong growth potential. Keep it on your radar. Special thanks to District Copper for sponsoring this video. Visit the link in the description or go to districtcoppercorp.com for details on their U.S. partnership and future opportunities. Check it out today. Bring up a couple more things on this. This was what the protest looked like in Orlando by us. And this is why I don't go out in Florida. People don't really protest here. Well, looks like there's also no subjects in this
No.
kingdom too, right? So
Yeah,
there's no kings,
yeah.
no subjects.
Yep.
Uh,
And it's all white boomers. I mean, if you really look at the crowd.
Well, I wouldn't want to gather in public in Orlando
No.
because of the amount of crime there is there.
Yep.
I mean, dude, it is not nice.
Yeah, I'm
up
not a
there.
fan of
Orlando's
Orlando.
not nice. And people say, "Oh, isn't Disney World in Orlando?" No, it's in Kissimmee. How do you say it?
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just in one of those. It's not in Orlando.
No.
It's just people fly into Orlando Airport, so they think that it's in Orlando,
Yep.
but it's not there. And
Is Universal there? I think Universal's in Orlando. I may be wrong.
is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. But look, they have a Cartman. That's really mature.
Well, they had another one too where they were like dressed up as like Pokemon and they were wrestling and dancing together. So I
Really?
don't know what that's all about.
A couple super chats we have. Joshua Try said from the other night, huevos is the word for eggs, but if you say somebody has huevos, you're saying they've got balls as if they're tough or manly. It's slang. Thank you for that one. Also, $10 super chat for multiple air horns. Some air horns going. If a dude would sacrifice himself and provide them with some big dick on a regular basis, these videos would not exist. Prove me wrong. It's true. It's true. It's true.
You heard it first here, folks.
Man, this is a slow news day, man. I mean, hey, you tried on this document.
I
You
did. I
tried.
had to dig deep.
Yeah, it's yeah. All right, let's just move on. We can come back to this. We need to just let's go move on to a couple things here with talking about the film industry and what's happening. So Pedro Pascal, can we talk about that? He was at the No Kings protest. Where was this one at? This was at in Los Angeles. It looked
Yep.
like Los Angeles. What's up with Pedro Pascal? Does anyone know about this guy?
I mean, this guy's weird.
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
His
right?
brother's a trans. He's also the guy who he kept like touching his co-host
Yeah,
on the
what was-
Fantastic Four, and she's married and pregnant, and he said it was because he
Anxiety. Social anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
the Me Too movement should just have said that. It's like, why are you touching her inappropriately? I have anxiety. So her.
is that what you do now when you make advances? Just be like, man, I was so anxious.
But her butt. It's like never grab
I
a
had
girl's
to grab
butts.
it.
Don't-
Yeah, just
That's a pretty good
it's
excuse.
a security blanket in
Yeah.
a way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good excuse, actually. Don't hate me, Dino Mommy. I've been a bad boy.
She got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, I know. I've been a bad boy. No, it's so dumb. But I want to talk a little bit about real quick. I want to kind of talk about Tron Ares. Is that in here, by the way?
All I could find on Tron, because I tried pulling up some stuff, is just
Here you
showing
go.
how it's like one of the top movies out right now.
Yeah, so I want to talk about a couple things. So yeah, so Tron came out. If people don't know this, here's like a little bit of like the commercial. Check this out.
Audiences are raving about Tron Ares, and it's the #1 movie in the world.
Now that is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
With a staggeringly brilliant score by 9 Inch Nails.
It's all on the wrist, baby.
Experience it yourself on the biggest IMAX screen possible. Tron Ares.
All right, so let's talk about this real fast because in terms of like this woke stuff, I feel like woke might be dying a little bit. People are getting sick of it. So I went to go see Tron Ares. I would like to know in the chat, 1 in the chat if you've seen Tron yet, 2 in the chat if you just don't go to movies. I don't usually go to movies. I thought the first Tron was really good. The 80s Tron, I thought the one in 2010 was good. I mean, it was like, corny, family friendly, whatever. But, it's been a few years, right?
Yeah.
Woke really picked up at the tail end of the hipster movement. Right, and the hipster movement peaked around 2007, 2008, after the scene movement came, following the alternative movement, and we all know it was like punk rock, and then it went up there, and then from that we've just had like transgenders. Like, it just hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Right, and then we had white replacement migration as well, post 2011 when they destabilized Syria and they decided they were going to reestablish the Greater Israel Project and bless us all with multiculturalism, knives of peace. They get shanked for the glory of Muhammad. Thanks for that, Israel. That was great of you. Can I get my $7,000 check now? But Tron Ares, I do recommend people to go see it because there's an issue with casting in Hollywood right now still, where casting is woke. Like I was with
for
my
sure.
friend and he's like, "Why can we just get a hot blonde chick again in a movie? Like, do we have to have an ugly Asian?"
Got to get Weinstein out of jail. That's the only way.
Do we need to get an ugly Asian? However, I will say this: it was an original storyline.
Mhm.
It was a little more like The Dark Knight or like what's that Rebel One or whatever that Star Wars movie? What's it called? The one that's like different.
I'm not sure.
It was like the one that was actually good. Rogue One.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like Rogue One. This took the idea of Tron and then made like a completely separate movie that had nothing to do with Tron. That was just like kind of like it's about AI. So I don't want to give much away, but it was actually had a lot of like non-woke themes. Of course, the two bad guys were white, right? And then the rest of that. But then the key thing was the most like unlikable character was a aggressive black woman, you know, which is like very relatable.
Well, that's a first, that they'll actually put on. They usually try to make him like the girl boss or you know, the one that has all the powers or saving the day. I mean, I really hope that wokeness is coming out of movies. I highly doubt it is. I think we're only going to see more of it. We get scolded by actors repeatedly. We didn't like their movie because maybe we were racist or, you know, whatever else. So, and we see with Netflix as well, which kind of is connected with Sigmund Freud, this like great grandson or something that runs it. But I don't think we're pulling away from it. But it's refreshing when you see it. I haven't seen this movie, but from what you've told me, it sounds like we're stepping away, at least in this movie.
Well, you saw Xavier de Rousseau is having a good month. You know, he got his Hollandale Beach Xavier de Rousseau Day.
Yep.
He also was one of the stars of this movie. If you've seen this here. You know, he actually helped star in this film. Now, this is the woman, and you know, of course, like having black computer programs is interesting, but the idea of having like a unlikable masculine black woman that you like want to see die is very relatable to like my real daily experience in life. But
especially as you heard one in the movie theater the whole time you were there.
It's like it was. Exactly. No, but it's interesting because man, so my computer's frozen. Great. All right. Fantastic.
I don't know. So Jared Leto was good in it, you said.
All right, give me a second here. All right, never mind. Yeah, so Jared Leto was good in it. He's actually
a little weird when you actually check into him.
Yeah,
his
he's
little
super strange.
Yeah, his little like cult like parties he has and a bunch of crazy stuff with that guy.
Well, yeah, I think you gotta be kidding me here. All right. I'm gonna have to reset my computer. This computer sucks. I don't understand why like my shit can't just work. You know what I mean? That's like just crazy. Let me exit out of this real fast. One of the main things though that I want to bring up, it's like you exit out of the window like 5 times, it just doesn't like just stays down. One of the main things though about the movie that I liked is it was like kind of about like how AI wanted sentience and like this idea of like you can never really be a human, AI can never really be us, but there's also this like cross how like AI is moving into our world and we're moving into a world of permanence, but everything is digital and we're losing like the meaning of life by like digitizing our lives, and that the difference between like digitization and reality is like so thinly veiled that like it's hard to understand what's real anymore, and we're like losing our humanity. A lot of like kind of like cool themes like that in the show. There was like no cursing, I think, at all. I don't think I ever heard a curse word. There was like no sex scenes in the movie.
This movie sounds like it sucks.
I'd say like probably for the family like maybe like 10 plus, maybe like a 10-year-old plus like could watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're like really like conservative, like 12 plus. But I don't think there was and the violence, there was no blood or anything. They just like turned into like sequence or whatever because they're digital. But I know families care about that stuff. So I just wanted you guys to know that I thought it was a good movie. I gave it like a good, 7 out of 10. And, it's not going to win any Academy Awards, but it's fun and the family will like it. That being said, I also want to bring up something interesting with culture that's been happening as well. I was on the TikToks where the kids hang out, and I noticed that Dolce & Gabbana actually came out with a new line of clothing that is giving an ode to the Catholic Church, which was the religion of the founder. And it's like, man, are we getting back with cool church drip? Because I'm about to roll into the parish wearing one of these. Look at this stuff. They had their fashion show, and it wasn't meant to be sacrilegious by any means. It was meant to respect and give an ode to the founding. So people realize this. A lot of times these people mock faith, they like to like pretend to be the devil and whatever. This seems to actually be pretty respectful. And I have to say, I just don't know why there's so many black models on a runway for an Italian fashion brand. Listen. Oh, we're not getting any sound? All right, great.
Doesn't even look like it's popping up.
Are we getting sound? No, we're not getting sound on to you, yeah? All right. Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll have to reset this computer here for a moment, but we'll watch it just a moment. But while we're doing that, one of the main things here is that we need to get it. This computer is like, it just can't believe it. These computers are like a $2,000 computer. It just like never works.
That one always gives you trouble. It always locks up.
Yeah, well, I'll probably have to swap it out with a different computer.
You were checking out too many Dino Mommy photos.
Oh, yeah.
And then computer just, that's it.
You know, she kind of has like the body shape, Dino Mommy, of like a dinosaur. You know, it's like kind of like narrow at the top, and it's got this like wide thoracic body.
Yeah, yeah.
And these like, you know, little like hands, but they're her titties.
Like little T-Rex ones at the
Yeah.
side? Okay.
Yeah, you know, and you just know that she's got handcuffs on her bed. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, good for you. But Dino Mommy's mad at me. Dino Mommy's trying
I wish I could say the same thing.
Dino Mommy's, you wish you could say she's mad at you too?
No, I didn't know who she was, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I get plenty of people mad at me.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have, if they're not mad at you, is a woman really in your life? Because it's I would assume that you're gay if you didn't have someone mad at you in your life. Because if there are women in your life, they're mad at you.
Yeah.
Is I wrong on that, chat? Like they're just like, women are just like, they're just fickle creatures, and they're just kind of always they're never really like happy. Like they just they're always criticizing and judging, and like you know, nothing's ever good enough, and like, you know, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and like you sit down and it's always like, can you please go get this? And it's like, why? You know, the boys just chill, right? We're just relaxed. We don't put a lot of pressure on each other. We just hang out, get into some trouble sometimes. We try to do our best when we can. We encourage each other in God. And with girls, it's like, I don't know what it is, but you didn't do it right.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
no, I face that all the time. Anything will set it off. So it's like, sometimes we're walking on eggshells, but you know what? We just got to do what we got to do, and don't let it control us, and make sure that, you know, we just move forward. Yeah, let me see. Okay, let me see real fast if I can get this thing playing here. If we can get some sound, that's kind of like the good thing. Do we have sound? We'll wait and see. Give me a moment here. See if you get it on your end. Are you getting sound from this, sir? Yes, no? Doesn't even look like your NDI is changing on there.
Where?
On the screen.
Oh, that'd be why, because it's frozen. Yeah, can you refresh it on there real fast? You gotta like hit the refresh on the screen. That's kind of like the main problem. Oh, there you go. It's here now. We're good. Let me see if we can get this now. There you go.
All right. We almost know what we're doing here.
Pretty cool drip.
No, it's good.
I mean, are we going back into like an era of like of religious respect? I think we are. I think we are going to a point to where, especially with the Protestants, what they did in the West was like, oh, it's all gaudy and we have to disregard it. Things are so ugly now. Buildings are so gross that oftentimes the only nice building in an area is the historic cathedrals and churches.
I think a lot of that's done to demoralize us, to put us in a place where everything just looks the same and it doesn't allow us to think bigger, allows us to be workers. I think that's, you know, so we're pretty much not free thinkers. We're just conformed to whatever, maybe piled in cubicles and whatever. But no, it's really nice to see something like this, something that's actually showing respect towards God, towards, you know, the church, versus having, you know, all these other kind of shows where you see people are wearing like the most ridiculous outfits in the world. Everybody's clapping. I mean, they'll come out in garbage bags and they'll be like, oh, this is great. This is what we need. So to see something like this, I think is great. And then you said that, they said in order to revive their company, you were saying something like they want to get closer to God. You mentioned.
Yeah, like what do you mean? The Dolce and Gabbana?
Yeah,
people?
Dolce and Gabbana.
Well, like they wanted to do something to honor the Catholic faith that designed that inspired the beauty. Basically, like they were saying, I was reading about it that like the beauty of the brand came from his faith. I didn't know that, and that's you find a lot of the beauty in our society came from people having faith in God. And it's true. It's like when you believe in God, you believe in beauty. You believe in like people say, why are cathedrals, so gaudy? Well, first of all, that's a good description. They are gaudy because it's about God. And it's like, well, Jesus was simple. Okay, but the cathedrals are meant to reflect heaven. And, you know, right?
Absolutely.
Like the character of God, not the ministry of Jesus. It's the ministers, and through the practice of the daily faith is the simplicity of Christ, but it's through God. And I think, I see a lot of like atheists. This is so good. I see a lot of like atheists that they don't understand, the reality of what it's like to follow God. Like, check this out. This guy, Inspiring Philosophy, supposed to be on a show, said, "My daughter has memorized the Nicene Creed at 10, praise God." Now, an average person just reads that and goes, "That's so cool. Good. Your daughter's great." Now, this prominent atheist named Pelogia said, "At the age of 13, I memorized the Gospel of John. At 18, I'd memorized half of the New Testament." And I'm like, you just checkmated a 10-year-old. Impressive work, Paul.
You're literally, he's talking about a 10-year-old, and it's like, well, she don't know.
I did better than her when I was 10. Impressive work, Paul. Yeah, as I said, like, good job. It's like, dude, that's not what this is about.
He like sent it. He was like owned. Like,
you know what? Yeah, and like I think that there's something in all of us where people might understand this. I've been waking up, and like I even said, like I need to get back to like wearing my suit jackets and stuff on the show. There's something like when you dress nice, you feel better. When you're wearing a collar as a man, like I'm gonna be completely honest. Like besides like wearing like outfits like as a man, besides wearing, I guess, like, if you're wearing joggers and like a white tee or whatever, because you plan on like working out, but in general, you should be wearing a collar as a man. I generally think that in most situations. And I think that there's this issue now to where like we've kind of like peaked at the $80 graphic tee. You know what I mean? Like there's like graphic tees with no collar, like $80. Like clothes are expensive if they're nice, but that's not nice. And we sort of like commercialize even our clothing to where it's like, clothes are expensive that are cheap, that they don't have quality. Our buildings are not nice. Our brands are not nice. That's why even for this show, I care about aesthetics. I would like a set, not just screens, but it's just what we have for finances right now. But it's like, what I want and what I would desire for myself and for my life is that I would at least experience beauty and add to beauty. It's like, woman, why should we wear heels? Because it's beautiful. Because it adds to the aesthetic of life. As a man, why should you wear a collar? At the very least. Because it's important that you carry yourself well, that you don't cheap and dumb down life. At the very least, do the least that you can do to help not add to the ugliness of this world, right? The world is just ugly. It's gross. And it's depressing. It's like, you go to you ever go to the dentist? It's like an ugly building. You can't even tell which office you're going into because it all looks the same. And there's blue, lighting. And you're just like in some cold chair. And it's like, this is hell. It literally is. It is hell. And you want to experience like that drip those guys are wearing. That's the first time I've seen high fashion where I'm like, that'd be actually sick to be like, walk like some church, like some priest wearing some stuff like that. Like, You could wear something like that in the real world, and it's beautiful and it reflects God. And you wouldn't want to wear that, to play with your kids or whatever. It would be too expensive. But it's like, I might rock that drip. I'm gonna wear the 14th
we should get some
century
and wear them on the show.
Yeah, you saw that blue garb. It's pretty cool. Well, I was kind of a fan of it. I don't know if people agree with that, but I think someone said my favorite suit that Elijah wears is his birthday suit.
Not my favorite.
No, but like
every day's his birthday for some reason.
Well, what I've noticed is like there's nothing worse to me than we were talking about that, like the Happy Dad people, right? Like the Nelk boys and stuff. I'm finding out these guys are like 40 years old, and they're wearing like they're wearing like caps and like shirts. It's like get bitches, get money, and you're like, dude, you should be like an adult.
Yeah.
What happened to men being adults?
Yeah, the previous generations, like my grandfather, I mean, he wore a button up every day till the day he died. He always was dressed up. They carried themselves different, and now it's terrible what you see. Everybody just throws on whatever it is. There's no I don't know. I don't even know how to put it, but it's just crazy the way people dress. And then we accept it, and we're getting further away, and we're becoming more degenerates.
Yeah, you know what? And as we talk about this, guys, I want to tell you guys something. It's Diwali now. Let's get a round of applause for that. It is Diwali. Let's go. Now, in our last spotlight, you guys, we introduced District Copper, right? Trading under the ticker CAXPF in the US and the ticker DCOP in Canada. As a rising force in North America's critical mineral sector, District Copper is gaining traction in North America's critical mineral sector. The company has announced a strategic partnership with Reacher Gold LLC, a Nevada-based exploration firm focused on copper, gold, and silver. This marks District Copper's entry into the U.S. metals market, leveraging high potential assets with historical production and existing infrastructure. The move aligns with the U.S. government's push to secure domestic critical mineral sources, including copper, rare earths, and lithium, to bolster national security and supply chain resilience. Washington has recently invested in Canadian mining firms like Trilogy Metals, which saw its stock surge over 200% after $35.6 million of U.S. government investment for a 10% equity stake. District Copper's national strategy, combining its Canadian copper keg project with new U.S. asset, positions it uniquely in this geopolitical landscape. Partnering with Reacher Gold, known for sourcing undervalued U.S. assets, aims to fast-track development and unlock near-term production. With progress at Copper Keg, a U.S. listing, and the strategic partnership, District Copper listed on the U.S. Stock Exchange under ticker CAXPF and Toronto Stock Exchange DCOP could be the next big thing for investors. The stock shows significant upside potential. Don't overlook it. Special thanks to District Copper for sponsoring today's video. Check the link in the description or go to districtcoppercorp.com, districtcoppercorp.com for more info. I'm getting pretty good at reading this fast.
Yeah,
it was
you
just
are.
a really long script.
And that was a new one that you just got. Yeah.
I didn't know that was that long. Sorry, guys. I didn't know it was that big, she said. So I want to talk about this. So we have interesting enough AF posted reported. So it's Diwali. And if you don't,
JD Vance is so excited.
You know,
he's with his wife and his sons and Vivek and all them. They're loving it.
I'm old enough to remember that Diwali was a Pixar movie when I was growing up.
It was the robot, right?
Yeah, Diwali. Yeah. It was Diwali movie, you know?
Yep.
It wasn't about pooping in the streets. You know what I mean?
That was like the new Johnny Five in a way. I think it was.
We've got to be honest here. It's not looking good for the whites.
No.
It's not looking good for us.
No, it's really not.
It's not looking good for us when it comes to the immigration issues in our nation. It's not looking good at all, actually. Interestingly enough, it is Diwali, and the White House has given a message on Diwali. Isn't that nice? We have the presidential message on Diwali. They say that, it's so great. People really need to leave their culture at home. You don't come here to turn this place. Like, multiculturalism is a failure. One of the things that white people have done a good job at in the United States is we are not we are really good at just blending in as Americans, right? This is why an American is a white person. Now, there are American citizens, like there are Roman citizens, but this is a European colony. Yeah. And it's like you could be nationally American, your nationality, but that's not you're not ethnically, European, so you're not really an American. People are like, that's really hard to believe because I'm really an American. No, that's why you say you're a Mexican American, or like you are.
Yep.
And then Mexicans even act like that. They're like, "This is my home country, Mexico." This isn't your home country because these go, "Oh, it was built on racism and white supremacy." Well, it was a white country built for white people, and we know that.
Well, yeah, the reason they do that though, it's a shaming tactic. The white people are the only ones that are being called racist and all these other names. The other nationalities, they really don't care to be called any of that. But it's a way to demoralize all the white people in the country and push these agendas. So, for instance, the melting pot and all these others. It's to destroy history and then to replace us. So, a country that doesn't look the same is not going to have the same values, are not going to have the same beliefs, and because of that, it's easier to do whatever you want as the government or foreign entity that pulls the strings on our government.
Yeah, it's like Indians don't want the same things that white people want for their country. Okay, no. They don't, and that's not weird to say. That's why India looks different than white countries. What's crazy is Belgians may not want the exact same things as Germans, but they probably want more similarly the same things than a German and an Indian. And, the reason why India looks bad is because Indians live there.
Yeah. And all the trash that they throw out and the bathing in the cow poop.
Bad standards.
Lighting it in the kitchen to have dinner.
You see they're destroying the natural habitats in Australia and in Canada, because white people typically have been very good conservators. We really care about the land. Australians famously. You have a crocodile hunter, you know, and you have, you know, people going around that are like, hey, I'm Steve Irwin or whatever. What's his name? Crocodile what? What does it call me?
Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, there you go. No, but you have like all these people, but they're about like conserving the land, and like they really respect their beaches, you know? Like Australians really respect nature. Like they're so clean.
Yeah.
You know? And it's weird, as Sydney, Australia has become more Indian, it's become very dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It's become very trashy. And who's throwing all the trash in the streets? They said, wow, almost half the boroughs in one part of Sydney are Singh is the last name. And they're calling it Singney now instead of Sydney, because it's turning into India. Now, here's what the president said on this, or at least the White House. Today, I send my best wishes to every American celebrating Diwali, the festival of lights. For many Americans, Diwali is a timeless reminder of light's victory over darkness. It is also a time to bring families and friends together to celebrate community, draw strength from hope, and embrace a lasting spirit of renewal. As millions of citizens light diyas and lanterns, we rejoice in the eternal truth that good will always triumph over evil. To every American celebrating Diwali, may this observing, bribing, abiding serenity, prosperity, hope, and peace. Okay, hey, there's no American celebrating Diwali.
No.
There's none. They don't exist, okay? Diwali is not an American holiday. You know, imagine if it's like, what if Modi in freaking India is like, you know, like, hey everyone, to all the whites celebrating the 4th of July in India today, you know, just celebrating American independence. Like, no,
you're not going to see that in other countries, though. You're only going to see that in Western nations where the propaganda is being pushed, and they're telling us that, as I said before, it's like a melting pot. But you brought up Australia. The Prime Minister actually shout out Diwali as well. I just highlighted it for you. So him and I guess what is it, Victoria Premier or something? I don't know. No, Victoria Premier Jacinta Allen.
Jacinta Allen.
Allen.
Where are we at?
I highlighted it. It's right under the same content that you're looking at.
I'm going up here. All right. So, wait. So you have Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen under fire for celebrating the foreign festival Diwali. How is this even relevant to Australians? So they're celebrating it too.
Yeah. Yep. A little bit of a reoccurring theme.
These politicians are so spineless.
I think a lot of them are just intertwined. I think sometimes what we're seeing in other countries is like a trailer for what's to come here. So, you know, you see all the same talking points. Like before when we had, what was it? I forget the exact saying, but it was this, you know, you see the same kind of speech, the same kind of talking points, the same catchphrases are being used in multiple countries, maybe America, maybe Canada, Australia. It's always the same.
Yeah. Vivek Ramaswamy, classic American Anglo name there. Remember, that's the first, what's his name? Our vice president's son's name's Vivek.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real American.
I just want to give up sometimes on this because, you know, nobody complains more on the internet than Indians and Jewish people. Mm-hmm. Just constant complaining. It's just, and it's like, yes, we get it. Why do you live here? Why do you live with us? If you don't like it, then go away. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, well, why are we letting them live with us? It's like, well, you know, we want to celebrate Diwali. Well, you don't get to do that here. Well, what about freedom of religion? No, we don't do demon stuff.
Yeah,
you know, we're not doing the demon worship. Okay, Pooper, we ain't doing that, and that's why it is really crazy. Man, I'm just over it personally, because you're destroying my culture and my people and my country. Mm-hmm. You're destroying our place. And people say, I don't like this identity politics. It's like, okay, everybody's playing identity politics except for you. Okay.
Yeah.
They're coming in here as Indians, bringing their Indian culture, their Indian society, and they are literally making your life. They're changing it so that you have to celebrate theirs. They're imposing their way of life on you. And you're like, well, I don't see it that way. Well, you are stupid.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going on. And it's like, this is why people have, like, there's this new software out called Jeet Block. Did you see this?
Jeet Block. All right,
yeah.
Let's hear it.
Most people have heard of AdBlock, an extension for your Chrome Firefox browsers. But do you know what's even more annoying than ads? That's right, introducing Jeet Block, a new Chrome Firefox extension that removes 95% plus of all posts made by Jeets across various social media platforms For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can get Jeet Block, and all post messages made by Jeets are removed or hidden from X and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc., and LinkedIn. But wait, there's more. Starting now, for only $6.99, we offer Jeet Block Ultra. It works to even more websites like TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, with added features like Muslim Block and Jew Block. Oy vey. Tired of whiny liberals introducing Ukraine, Palestine, and gay and trans flag in their bio filters? All this and more, custom allows block lists can be yours, and it looks like it's real.
Well, the Israel blocker will get rid of majority of mainstream media and half of the influencers that are out on X, so that's a good thing.
If someone's like, I see bans in your future. Yeah. So he said, so you guys need investors, customers. I had completely dropped another project that is equally as disruptive to the AI space as this, though. So yeah, probably. You can follow them there at Jeet Block.
How do they do that? Does it like go off the IP address, or it's interesting?
Yeah, I'm gonna just give a little promo there. See, we finally, it's a small account, got 200 followers.
Oh, you probably just made that then.
What?
Is it real, you think, or?
Yeah, I joined in August. It's not made now.
Okay.
And you can go to the website. I mean, look, we can go to it. Look at this.
Well, anybody can make a website.
Well, yeah, I'm going to jeetblock.com.
Mm-hmm. Sir, we promise to get rid of all your Jeets. Take our project and it will work.
Jessica said, I hardly ever get sexually harassed anymore. Step in the right direction. Jeet Block is a game changer. My social media feeds have never been so peaceful with every penny. Dude, yeah, like if I didn't have to deal with like Jeets, Jews, and all these people like complaining in my comments, I'd have a job still places. It's like, dude, that's what my point is. Like, it's like as
You'd
a white
have a
guy,
lot of things. You would have less transgenderism in the country. We would be more financially. Everybody wouldn't be in debt. I mean, the list can go on and on.
It's like we don't want to be mean. So what? You'd rather live under like compound interest variable rate home loans? Like, you don't want to be mean, so you want to curse your children. When people say they don't want to be racist or rude, what you're saying is, I want to curse my offspring. If you even if you can afford to have them, that's if you can afford to even raise them, because your parents didn't want to be mean. Dude, boomers really like, dude, we used to own people. We used to own people like pretty recently, you know? That's a crazy idea. Not saying I support it, not saying it was a good idea. I'm just saying it, like, we went from owning people to having to celebrate Diwali. Like, this is not good. And there's no coming back from this, by the way.
It's almost like we lost World War II. It's weird.
We lost. We brutally lost that one.
It's almost, give me that kind of feeling, but just saying.
Yeah. Someone said customer support is in Bangladesh, lol.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Something's going to happen there.
So I think they're going to get banned, probably. Yes?
Yeah, I think they'll put an end to it. They're not going to allow something like that, especially if they're blocking Israel from complaining all the time and somehow turning every single event into something that's anti-Semitic when it's unrelated.
Well, you know, everyone's been wondering. This is my last Diwali post. Everyone's been wondering, you know, what's the FBI doing? Well, Kash Patel's wishing everyone a happy Diwali. How happy Diwali? You walk up to people, happy Diwali. That's not a saying. Happy Diwali. I know it's not even how you pronounce it. I just intentionally put like a Yank accent on it. Like Diwali, you know, because it's like probably like Diwali.
Sir. Please come to Diwali. We want you to celebrate with no shoes.
I feel like I'm at 7-Eleven when you wish me a Diwali.
Yeah.
Might as well just fucking shove a what are they called? A slushy shit. What's that 7-Eleven shit called?
It's slushy?
No, what are they called? Are they called slushies?
Big Gulp?
Is there called slushies at 7-Eleven?
I think they got a cup called Big Gulp, but I haven't been to 7-Eleven in a long time.
Just shove it. Just pour it down my pants. Just pour it down and slap me in the face with a big gulp. Just shoot me in the head before you wish me a Diwali. How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to do happy Diwali. Don't do that.
This is only going to get worse and worse too. You know, you have this. You had Ilhan Omar. I think it was last week. She was calling the Somali president our president in her speech. She's like, "We love our president." You know, the more that we're being weak in this category, and it's not about being extreme or anything, but it's just saying that we want to preserve our values. We want to keep this a Christian nation. We don't want to keep putting up with this bullshit. But the more we sit back and go, well, everybody should feel comfortable. You know who doesn't feel comfortable? Majority of white America that's in this country, unless there's some crazy, boomer who's out there singing songs like they were the other day. But, you know, we don't feel comfortable. We don't.
How about this? Speaking of feeling comfortable, El Salvador becomes the safest country in Hispanic America to walk at night. Nayib Bukele's strategy reduces homicides and strengthens authority and public order. GatewayHispanic.com. El Salvador has reached an unprecedented milestone in public safety, positioning itself as the safest country in Hispanic America to walk alone at night. Remarkable 87% of Salvadorans feel safe walking alone in their communities at night, far surpassing the region's average of 47%, such as Uruguay, Switzerland, or Luxembourg. The radical change in the result of public security policies. 6 years ago, Nayib Bukele was elected president of El Salvador. One of the first things he did was ban George Soros from the country and root out his influence. Since then, El Salvador has become one of the safest places in the world. So he banned he Jew blocked him. That was like Jeep block, but he didn't realize Jew blocked. Isn't that crazy? Look, I'm not saying anything because obviously this would be racist and anti-Semitic. So I'm not saying anything to anti-Semitic as I would never do. But that's crazy that he just like blocked the Jew from his country.
Well, it's
rooted out his
it's
influence.
more the Zionist and stuff, and he's making sure that they don't have control.
I don't think Soros is a Zionist, is he? I don't think he is.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if they're all intertwined.
Yeah,
you know, if they want a hero, we create one for them. If they want a villain, they do the same, and then they just have them come together. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But what Bukele's done there is he's got rid of all the fake media. He's went around and he rounded up all the criminals. You know, a lot of people. Some people pushed back on that, but I mean, you can see the results that we're seeing in that country. I love going to El Salvador. Actually, we have a trip coming up soon. And when I'm walking in the streets, I actually feel safe. When I see how things are running, you can see the growth that's coming. You know, you can see the country's just going to get better and better, especially with Bukele staying in power now. You know, and it's all legal. He found, you know, he went through the Constitution. He found a way so he can keep going up for re-election. And with the 90% approval rating, you know he's just going to be re-elected in.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, my point is no, he dealt with this the right way. See, guys, I'm saying it's not anti-Semitic. I'm saying you don't have to be against the Jews, but if there's an evil Jewish person, you could deal with them, and then maybe that would actually stop anti-Semitism. Because that's the problem, is in our country is there's these guys like Soros, when you try to deal with them, they claim you're anti-Semitic and that you hate Jews, when it's really you're just an evil person. So
that's
how
what I
about
mean.
this?
I think they just create
but that's
they
what
get both the good guy and the bad guy. They put them together, and then this way they win no matter what. And then they just scream anti-Semitism.
Oh man, anti-septicism is such a dangerous thing. I need a new septic tank. I'm so tired recently. Like I'm so tired of people's like bullshit. You know, like I got people dragging me down all around me all the time. I'm completely honest. Like not everyone, but I got like a lot of people from in all parts of my life. They suck my energy dry, and they drag me down. And a lot of guys know what that's like. It's like you know, some of them aren't. You know, I wouldn't say who they are, but they rhyme with Nyquil Nenesi. You know what I mean? It's like a rhyming word. No,
You
but
could have went with Tennessee or anything. You go in Nyquil Nenesi. That's what you. Shit.
I'm tired.
We was kangs.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
No, but I have a lot of people that just drag me down, and you know, and sometimes you know people just make you just like not enjoy your life because you're just like, dude, why are you all so negative and just dragging me down? Why don't you just let me live my life and just leave me alone? How about that? But people tend to try to pull down people. If you try to do anything in this life, right? People will try to pull you down. If you try to don't tell people your business plans. Like if you want to start a business, people will mock you. Mm-hmm. People will laugh at you. Or they'll steal your ideas.
That's usually how it starts. Usually people laugh at you at first, like, he ain't going to be able to do anything. And then it gets to the point where it's like you start to gain traction, and then you'll get a little bit of hate from that. Oh, what's this guy doing? Does he think he's really going to accomplish anything? And then you move into the whole like, oh, I knew you can do it. And then you move into where they're like, okay, how can you help me? So there's levels to it. But usually, do not share it right away.
Right. And I'm learning, though, it's like Nayib Bukele, I don't know if you know this, but he says that like basically they just intentionally didn't talk about a lot of what they were going to do. They just sort of built their army. Mm-hmm. And he said if it had gotten out what they wanted to do to fix El Salvador, it wouldn't have worked. And they just went in like a shock and awe, like a blitzkrieg. And I'm kind of going to a place now where it's like, this is why I was talking about this to the guys. It is ironic to me that the people that surround me are the most discouraging people in my spiritual life. Like people that you would think would want you to find God instead are like very rude about it. Like it's always just discouraging. Like, oh, well, you're going to go to church and you were at a bar a few days ago. It's like, why would you care about that? Why would you care? Why would you care? Do you want me to do better or not? Do you want me to live? Like, it's like, oh, well, I thought you did this and I thought you already knew God and I thought this and that. It's like, well, I'm telling you I didn't really. Mm-hmm. So would you want me to repeat myself? I said, I didn't really think I knew God in the way that God said he is. I think I knew God out in a way that was emotional, in a way that was not lasting, and I'm finding out who God is. Kind of like if you meet an old friend and you realize you didn't know them and you actually don't really like them anymore. It's the opposite. You're like, oh, I actually don't remember you being like this. And you kind of grow past people. Yeah. It's like I'm realizing that I never really understood who God was, but I realized that people in your life can be used as a tool from the enemy to drag you down. However, there's also people that I know that blame me for their problems, right? Like there's people, and I'm not such people in my personal life. There are Democrats that sit around every day and say that it's Republicans, our existence, it's Trump. You ever seen those losers? They're like, because Trump's in office, I can't be happy. I can't be happy because Trump's in office, and it's just so depressing. Like, bitch, what are you talking about? You're fat. You have diabetes. That's not Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Like go lose weight. And what I was gonna say is one thing that I'm learning is as an old man, as you know, as an unk status male, is like sometimes, you know, in our lives we, as a guy, I came up with this new theory. If you're gonna survive in life, if you're gonna deal with your family and in-laws and, you know, colleagues and employees and investors and whatever your life is, right? That bitch that works at the pharmacy down the street that never,
her.
Yeah, she never gives you your prescription right on time and makes you wait. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, but when you're dealing with your daily life, like normal stuff, these are all great people in your life. You guys we all have different people, but those categories, we all have at least some or most of those categories in our life. You know, you just really can't you can't look for outward validation. You can't expect people to ever appreciate you. You can't expect people to ever see the best in you. You can't even expect the people in your life to believe in you or to want what's best for you. You have to take responsibility as a man and realize that there's only two places you're going to get to as a man. When you get to a place like me where you're like, you know what? I can't deal with people anymore because if I focus on what people are saying about me, if I focus on what people say to me, if I focus on how people treat me, then I will become like a fat bitch with diabetes who blames Trump for being depressed. I won't make progress in my life because the people in my life are discouraging me from making progress. They're looking for perfection. You either turn into a I don't give a fuck category or you give into a don't fuck with me category, which one is passive, one is active. And you don't have to use the F word if you don't curse, and maybe we shouldn't, but you do want to use language of like, a lot of people in the right wing have gotten to like what's more like a black pilled position. This is what I'm coming out of, is like, look, just I don't give an F. You know what I mean? Like someone walks up to you, and the problem is like a lot of like El Salvador, you know, people, when you grow up in like a crime-ridden country like that, you start giving into like, I don't give an F. You just realize you might die. You just ignore the violence. That's how we are today in our country. Like you just see people dying online and people flooding in, and you're like, look, I don't care anymore. That is passive, and that is demonic, and that is feminine. It's
not what we're supposed to do.
Yes. You need to, well, it's masculine, but it's passive. That's why it's feminine. You need to go into a don't F with me mentality. Absolutely. Of like, I am in charge of my life. Okay. And you know what? Yeah. Maybe I did get drunk a few nights ago, but I'm still going to go to church because it's better for me to not continue to make a bad decision. It's better for me to take control of my life and you know what? God's not expecting me to be perfect, and I'm not going to wait to be perfect to try to follow God. I'm going to go follow God and let him perfect my life, the author and the finisher of my faith. Same thing goes with Bukele. You know, he just went out and just started making decisions to clean up. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done in El Salvador. There's a lot of things, and people shit on it. It's a third world country. It's this, it's that. If you saw what he was doing and you saw how much, like every time you go there, every 6 months, every 3 months, there's like radical changes. New buildings, you know, constructed and, you know, new departments.
They have the new stadium coming out. You have the one district we went to where they had the mall and all the shopping plazas. I mean, it was very beautiful how they had everything. So you can see the potential there. Of course, they had a civil war not too long ago, so you have some destruction in areas. The barbed wired fence is still up on certain houses, but that's also because it's like PTSD from what they were going through before. I'm sure over time that'll start to come down, and we'll see a huge change in that country.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but like that's a good example, like for your own lives. Like be a Bukele of your own life. You know, like just start making decisions that you need to make to get to the path you need. And sometimes if your life's a mess today and you're feeling like, you don't know where to begin, honestly, if you ever drive down the streets in El Salvador, I don't know how Bukele began, because it's a third world country. And it's unironically, but like we mentioned here, it's an ascending country. So we don't call it third world anymore. It's ascending, meaning it's moving in a direction of growth and prosperity, but not like GDP growth. Not just like, oh, its GDP is going up, which it is, but it's like the quality of existence is going up. The safety is going up. The things that make life enjoyable are increasing. And so remember in your own life, just as a man, suffering is a part of being a man, okay? And some men realize that and they take risks like Bukele and they offer their lives up like Charlie Kirk did as well, and they put themselves out there. The least you could do in your life is not be worried about your in-laws, not be worried about your boss or your coworkers or whatever it is. And maybe you're a business owner, your employees or whatever. You need to just get up every day, do what you need to do, not worry about the judgments of men or of women, because women will really judge you, but not the judgment of women or men. And you need to like just start saying, you know what, for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. If that house is one person, or 1.5 people.
And especially like you're saying how, you went to the bar the other day or whatever it may be, and then you're being attacked because of it. There's going to be plenty of times that happens. And guess what? You are going to mess up again. We are all going to at least sin again. It is going to happen no matter how hard we try. What we do is we aspire to be like Jesus, but we're not him. So we're human. We have human nature, and we will stumble. We will fail, but we have to make sure we get up, we dust ourselves off, and we grow closer to him each and every day. But a lot of times what pushes people away from the church is when you meet people like that, how you were mentioning before, they'll start to attack you saying, well, you did this the other day or you did that. Instead of actually being like, okay, hey, listen, you're trying to get closer to God. How can I help? What can we do? Do you want to read the Bible together? Do you want to do this together? Let's, I'm so excited that you're taking this journey. But what people do is they get on like a high horse, and they feel like if they go ahead and they point out everything that you're doing wrong, oh, you did this wrong or you did that wrong. It's kind of like they're doing it so they can feel better about themselves. Like, oh, I'm so much more holy than you, or I'm, than thou, or whatever it may be. So that's not the way it's supposed to be. And the most important thing is, of course, the relationship with God. But yes, we want to have the church as well. It's just unfortunate when you run into that.
Well, yeah, and like look what Bukele said. He said a very unpopular statement. What is that noise, by the way?
I think it's my thing here.
Yeah. I keep hearing that. It does come through the recording. We got to fix that. One of the things is that people are wanting Bukele to fail, and you realize this is what he brings up. A lot of people call him a dictator, and they explain that and I'd like to believe he is too. And he's made jokes, right? It's a joke, but yeah, I'm a benevolent dictator. But what he's saying is really he just wielded his constitutional power that he already had, and he gutted out corruption, which is that's not a dictator thing. To go in and find judges who are ruling against the Constitution and getting rid of them because they're not following the Constitution is not a dictator-like activity. That's freedom-based. And then the Western media likes to call him a dictator because they would rather have there be, corrupt, rigged elections that Soros can be involved in, violence on the streets, but the appearance of democracy than they would to have a guy who stays in power because the people want him in power, simply because who secures his elections for the most important reason that he actually wants the country to be better. And I told you when I met white girls out there that said that they didn't like him because he was a dictator, even though they were safer, wealthier, better off, cleaner, and
didn't have to worry about getting raped. Didn't have to worry about any of that stuff.
But they were mad because he's still president 6 years later, and that's the brainwashing people have said. It's like it's better to have a new president every 4 years and be raped than it is to not be raped and have the same president continue on. And it's Joey's nightmare.
And he's not forcing himself into power at all. As I mentioned before, he has a 90% approval rating.
93.
It's 93. Okay, so he has the approval rating. The people, when you go there, when you speak with them, you can see that they do have love for him and the way the country's changed, because this is the first time they're actually getting a president that's putting the people first. Even here, we don't have that. In our country here, they never put us first. What they do is they'll put either Israel or some other country that always put before us. So that's why we're struggling here. And, that's why we struggle to put food on our table. We struggle to pay for our homes, but we can pay for health insurance for other countries. We can pay for whatever in other countries. So with him being there is the first time they're actually having someone who can really look out for the people, and that's why he has their love and their respect. And I think he said he's bringing back common sense politics, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, putting prisoners in jail and not letting them murder Irina Zarutska. Like, check this out.
El Salvador priorizamos la seguridad de nuestros ciudadanos honestos sobre la comodidad de los criminales. Algunos dicen de que hemos encarcelado miles, pero la realidad es que hemos liberado a millones. Ahora son los buenos los que viven libres, sin miedo, con sus libertades y derechos humanos totalmente respetados. En El Salvador priorizamos la seguridad.
Yeah, so he's saying, look, you guys, this is where the media brainwashes. It's like, dude, you put thousands in prison. He's like, no, we set millions of our citizens free.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like, so you want to be mean to black people? It's like, no, I want to set my country's cities free from crime. Like, I want to be able to play in a city park. You know,
it's interesting how they go to that right away. As soon as you talk about cleaning up crime, well, why are you picking on the black people?
I do, huh? They do that every
what
time.
are you talking about? I'm talking about cleaning up the streets, actually getting real crime statistics, so we can see where the problems are and we can go ahead and start to get rid of them. That's the one thing, how Bukele went around and he actually rounded up all these gangsters and these drug dealers and got them off the street. I was kind of hoping the Trump administration was going to do that with the illegals. We couldn't even get that with the illegals, let alone the criminals, which illegals are criminals, but, more extreme criminals.
Yeah, no. Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, just so you know, where are we at here on this document? A couple things. I want to talk a little bit about China and some of the interesting aspects here. China's getting a lot of things right. They get a lot of things wrong too. Mm-hmm. But I need to get out of this idea that I don't want to say I'm against American exceptionalism, but I do believe that we are less exceptional than we have been in all of our history. I think American exceptionalism is real and we have been great, but I'm not going to buy into the fact that, our government isn't bought out by Israel. Mm-hmm. It is. And we aren't serving since the neocons got into power, we have really been serving the interests of Israel, 100%. At least during the Cold War, there was at least a sort of, they masked serving the military-industrial complex with the sort of united fight against communism. So there was somewhat of this national unity. Yeah. And immigration was low because it's the Cold War. You can't just have transfer people around the world. You didn't have all this non-white immigration to the levels that they have today. Mm-hmm. Yes, in some states like New York, you did get a lot of that in the 60s and the 80s, even the 70s. But, in the Midwest stuff, you didn't have Haitians being bussed, flown in 500,000 Haitians. They brought 500,000 Haitians into Ohio.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
That's just so crazy. By the way, I found out, I want to talk to you guys actually about maybe moving operations to Iowa or whatever. I actually found out that these states are actually maybe our last chance, and that you can actually even have your own crops and stuff there. So it's you can actually survive if you need to. But it's apparently in Iowa, you can get a big home and a few acres for $230,000, $200,000.
Wow.
So
you can't even get a studio here for that.
No. A studio here would be $400,000 or $500,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, easy. A townhome's at least $1 million.
Yeah,
and that's not even a nice one. It's the one that
remember when you were younger and you would be like, oh, $1 million home. It was this huge, a castle in your mind, and you're like, oh man, if I could have $1 million home, I'll have the best home on earth. And now it's $1 million home is a 1-bedroom, 1 floor, small little house, here in Florida.
Do you know what's even crazier is I remember prices. When I was in LA, my parents owned a home.
Just turn this down.
And I think they bought it in 95. And it was in LA for maybe 138,000, And I think I saw that house recently and it was $790 or $800. It was it was for sale. It wasn't much nicer. So it went up 700%.
And then you have the boomers jumping in your ear when I was your age, I had a house already.
Yeah.
I bought this house with cash and I had it, my career was stable, everything. I could even have my wife at home, and it's what are you guys doing? Well, it's sir, if you didn't screw up our country, if you didn't just allow all this craziness to continue, we would not be in this position. We would not have, the high home rates. We wouldn't have the inflation with everything else, food, everything else. So it's You dropped the ball, and now you're telling us that we're not doing enough.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, 100%. You know, it's gotten to a point now. All I was gonna say is that it's like the home went up 700%, and then wages went up like 30%. Or since that, or 40%.
Yeah, it's not matching.
So it's like, if the home, so then whatever the average salary back then was like 33 or something like that thousand. So the home was like 4 times the salary. So that would mean like homes in LA today would be like $220,000.
Yeah,
it's like no, they're like $1 million. Okay,
Easy.
it's like a bungalow. I think the home actually, by the way, when I saw that house, that was back in 2020 when it's for sale. It's probably $1 million now.
Oh,
okay?
this 220. Yeah, 2020, because then you have BlackRock and all them come after.
Correct. So listen to what Elon said.
The sheer number of really smart, hardworking people in China is incredible. There are really, if you say like how many smart, hardworking people are there in China? There's far more of them there than there are here. I think, in my opinion. And they've got a lot of energy. So, I mean, the architecture in China that's in recent years is far more impressive than the U.S. I mean, the train stations, the buildings, the high-speed rail, everything. It's really far more impressive than what we have in the U.S. I mean, I recommend somebody just go to Shanghai and Beijing, look at the buildings, and go to, take the train from Beijing to Xi'an, where you have the terracotta warriors. The sheer number of...
Yeah, I talk about this because I think that the CIA propaganda to get us to completely write off Russia, China, and North Korea, the 3 countries and Iran and Syria that didn't support Israel. It's so crazy. Like all these countries that they want us to hate, they just don't support Israel. You know? It's like China's so bad. Like, what has China done? It's like, China's just, espionage. Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Stealing our secrets. They're not creative. It's true. I've said China's biggest issue is they do have a lot of smart people, but not a lot of creative people, right? So they require a lot of European and I'll just say trans-Euro people, America and New Zealand. They require a lot of our people to lead their projects or to steal our information, and then they build. So they're not like pioneers in creativity. I think whites have the best balance of intelligence and creativity that's out there, right? And we know the real creatives are the blacks because they sort of created everything.
Oh, they built everything.
They built,
yeah.
They built it all. Yaqub really did make me. But
you can't build Africa for some reason.
Yeah, well, they've used all the resources building the rest of the world.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's when you're building up the rest of the world, you kind of it's like they're really just selfless people.
It's like when you work at it, like say if you're a chef in a kitchen and you go ahead and you cook every day, and then when you get home you don't want to cook. So maybe it's the same thing. Like they built up the countries everywhere else, and then they're like, all right, let's just hang out in the hut. I really don't want to do this.
Yeah, someone said, by the way, Elon will go on a 2-week period of being based and then retweet Tommy Robinson 5 times in a row and then promote Gad Sad.
And then shout out all the H-1Bs.
That's actually true, man. That's actually true. Wow. Okay. Anyway, speaking of that, though, I did want to bring up some stuff about that because, about 18 months ago, there was remember the bridge when they literally intentionally took out a bridge?
Yep.
And no one talks about this to disrupt one of the biggest highways of goods. Check this out.
Actually prepared to insert this first pylon here at the Key Bridge. Now, work is concluded for the day because they want to make sure that their operation is neighborly to the people that live close to the water here. But as you can see, this pylon and they're actually prepared to insert.
Right. So, yeah, they're done for the day. You notice in construction in Western countries, they're always done for the day.
Yeah.
What is up with that? Why is it that it's across the board? It's in Europe, it's in Australia, it's in New Zealand. We just can't get construction projects done.
Yep.
Like it takes public ones, by the way. I mean, you can build a house or something like that, but it's like it takes 10 years to build a road. What? Like, can anyone explain to me in the chat what that's about? Why does it take? I would love to have a show where I actually talk
some kind of money funneling through or something.
We talked
like
a little bit about the rentals, how they get paid. They lease the rentals, they get paid for the amount of time. Like each one of the lights, they get paid for rent out and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there's got to be something beyond that. Because is it just unions and then they they get like guarantee pay, right? Because it's hard. As I run my own business. I don't know where my money's coming from. And so it's nice to know when you have money coming in, right?
Yeah.
And I think, our show's changing, our team changes all the time. I've gone through a lot of different, people that I've worked with and whatever. But at the same time, I never just sat around for like a year and was like, I think I'm just going to brainstorm about what to do next. It's like, I work every day. You guys work every day. So what are these people doing? You'll see you'll see a project like this and like 2 people. Like drilling like some like air.
Or sometimes I'll see 2 people actually doing work, and then there's like a group around them who are just kind of like watching. I do see that as well.
Someone said corruption in unions. So what's crazy about that though is people saw this. This was like very famous. We already played this on here, but China opened the world's tallest bridge. Check this out.
So they have a bridge with waterfalls, and we're just putting up 1 pillar.
Yeah, we have bridges where that fall
that fall apart.
We have bridges that fall.
Yeah,
London Bridge is falling down. So is ours. Listen, I really am telling people to travel. I'm telling people go to China, go to Taiwan, go to these countries, go to Japan, and you will realize how much we're being lied to. When you go to South Korea as well, traveling around Asia, I just go, oh my gosh, we've been completely lied to by our government on how good our country is. It's like, oh, so what are you, a CCP guy? They have cameras there and they track you. But you have the Patriot Act. 12,000 people got arrested this year in England for memes. Like, let's not act like we don't live in an authoritarian society. They're putting grandmas in prison for like protesting a stolen election. Like, give me a break, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of everything China does. That's for sure. I'm not like a.
Yes, you are. You said I'm a fan of everything China does.
No, not at all. There's a lot. Social credit score. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm not a fan of. But as you said, the way they're painting the picture to be is that we're like, we're the major country that's growing and doing everything. We're ahead of everybody. But that's not the case. What you see is that we become to more of these little cookie cutter shitty buildings. And then you see countries like China and all the others who are actually building like, great skyscrapers, beautiful cities, to the point where you actually enjoy seeing the architecture. It's not just one big stone. I mean, we were in, where were we that time? Where like all the windows were like cut off on a building. It was just like a stone slab. I mean, it was so ugly.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah.
And can't chase them.
It's like even Iran. When with Iran, a lot of the times I had no idea the things Iran had. And once again, I'm not a fan of Iran at all. But the way in my head was like this country that was just like a shithole. And then next thing I see that you posted was when you posted their mall. Their mall was gorgeous, and some of the buildings that they have was gorgeous. But they don't want us to see that type of architecture or anything like that, because it's going to inspire us. Say, hey, we need more in our country. We should be building here. If we should continue to be leading the way, and we're not doing that anymore. And that's why they don't want us to see that. Instead, they want to say these people are just crazy and destructive, and they're not doing anything right. But as you can see, that's not the case.
Look at some of this infrastructure size, right? Here you have a solar farm. I'm not even a big fan of this, right? Of solar and wind farms. I'm not a big fan of alternate energy. I think we should be using nuclear pretty much exclusively.
I remember they had the wind farm in Texas, and it like froze with ice, and they had to get up there with the blow torches
and it almost killed my neighbor. It was dead. It was freezing. We didn't have any heat, and it was like 11 degrees or something like that. We didn't have any heat.
Yeah.
Because they burned down. Listen to this. So you take that off the screen. No, that was horrible, because they decided to switch to that. And then also, like, look at this. So like if you look at some of the stations there, look at this. This is their new metro station. It's like and I don't really, I'm not China glazing, but I did go there and I go, when you see an ethnically, what they've done then, the reason why I bring it up is they've gone to the Han history, right? You can still go to like Xinjiang or whatever. You can like go around and you can still find that like towards the west with the Uyghurs and stuff, there's still the traditional Chinese poverty and what's going on. It's not like they fixed the country.
Yeah.
But like, like I saw this video of people making fun of like some poor Ukrainians, and someone was like, y'all are making fun of this in America, and that looks like Philadelphia. It's like, that's true. You know what I mean? Like, like it's like, oh, China's got this, China's got that, China's got this. So do we. And you know, like it's like China disappears people. You don't think we do that?
Oh yeah.
You don't think?
Yeah, we definitely do that.
Like we don't. Like people just like don't. You don't think we do that? And I think that we've been. They're using our good heart in this country of what we've known America to be, in order to. Essentially, in order to make us not hold them accountable for what we need and what we want.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is they don't want it. They don't want us to see this type of stuff, because then we're going to say that we deserve more, especially with the amount of taxes we pay. Especially, I mean, we're taxed on every single thing. Your check gets taxed. You go to the store, you get taxed. I mean, it's just continues and continues. So they don't want us to have this kind of, you know, to be inspired to want more. They don't want that. What they want us to do is just go to work. Bring them more tax dollars, even though they just print money and destroy our country anyway, and send it off to foreign countries. We got to go fight every war, but we can't fight the war that we're having here, which is the destruction of our own country.
Yeah, we have a couple super chats here as well. Titties just sent $5. I don't know. Thank you. We also have another super chat as well. One of you guys sent in. Gaming Reverend said, American excellence returns with a true America first president and maybe some abuse of powers by said president. That's true. Yeah. Or maybe just constitutionally using their powers. I just thought Mississippi just ratified the, what's the amendment? It's 19th amendment is woman. It's 13th, 14th blacks voting.
I'm not sure.
13th or 14th. I don't know why I don't remember that off the top of my head. I don't think a lot about their voting practices. But doesn't like a bowl of ramen sound good right now? Some soup just sounds so good right now. I'm sorry, just a bowl of soup.
I guess you've seen all that China video, so now
That's
you're
what
like,
I was
I need
thinking about.
ramen,
dude. Like a good bowl of like ramen from Fat Boy Sushi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Joey wants cream of some young guy.
He gets creamed by some old guy in this office. No, but yeah, it made me want some ramen. I didn't like Chinese food very much. I'll be honest. In China, it was definitely. I tried tree fungus. You know.
Okay.
Tree fungus. You know, like duck hearts and things like that. Not into that.
No, I haven't had duck heart. I had chicken heart. That's
Korean
big in
food's
Brazil.
better. Korean food better than Chinese food. Japanese food better than Korean food, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys fall on. I feel like Japanese is better than Korean, Korean better than Chinese. But Korea is nice because you just get a lot of meat. Like it's a big meat culture, you know.
Yeah.
And Joey loves big meat too. You know what I mean? So, by the way, but Mississippi just barely ratified that amendment, like in 2013 or 15th Amendment. Is that 15th for blacks to vote? Are you sure about that? All right, I believe you. I believe you. No wonder why I always forget that one, because that's the one that I wish didn't. I'm just kidding. No, okay. I'm joking. I love our black
I don't think about
viewers.
it. It never happened.
Yeah. That being said, okay, if you guys are watching right now and you are a locals member, we oftentimes just like have an extra segment that we like to give to you guys specifically, where we just enjoy talking to you directly on locals. But I messed up last time with not looking at some of your memes. Check this out. We got some new. I'll keep that up on locals. You guys sent in some memes that I'm gonna play right now here as well. You got
let's go.
There he is. That's what I wanted right there. We got Mendoza as well in the right here.
Oh man. Oh, Mendoza hit the gym.
Oh, this one was back over too. That one's really good. But you can go there. When you sign up there at locals, I'll throw it in the chat here. Just a few bucks a month. You can join the community. You can get access to the Discord. And I was going to say, I told you guys that I was going to do the giveaway on Friday of the cigars. So let me see if I can find it here real fast. Basically what happened is let me go down here. Oh yeah, so check this out. So I like to do some giveaways. You can bring this up. I bought this pack of cigars, really nice Padron 1926 series.
Nice.
And I mentioned, some of you guys, maybe your wife doesn't want you to burn money. Maybe it's literally burning money, right? Mm-hmm. It's not the time and the place to do so. And I mentioned that you could leave a comment. Get this. Grape Joey to put in your name to win, right? And I would be calling it on Friday. However, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let Joey just pick 3 people here. I'm gonna just start saying out names, Joey, and you tell me which 4 people. Was it 4? How many did I say can win this? Let me see. 4 of you guys, yeah, to win. All right, let me go back to the beginning because we gotta start with the first people who commented, right? One second. Next, we gotta start with the first people that commented. No, I guess Canadians need not apply. I said, oh yeah, this is, I can't send tobacco to another state. Okay. All right, here we go. We got Risk It for a Biscuit, Andy, Mostly Peaceful Combat Vets, Raj 422, TJ Sherrod, Telepathic Dragon. Let me read them all first. Jworth 55, Logan, Local Foreskin, Doomsday Cracker, HWDPP, Wednesday 13, Lackerlutz, Heckabaro, Big Guy Nate, Chaos and Gumshanks, Drummer Merc, Benny Jex, Zesty AIDS, Campant, Drew, Mo Money, Vince Lasagna, and Mermaid American. Which one of those names stood out to you? Doomsday Cracker always wins everything. He does, huh? All right, Doomsday Cracker, email me, elijah.schaefer@rifftv.com, and I'll send me your address, and I'll ship out some cigars. All right, any other names stood out to you? Vince Lasagna. All right, Vince Lasagna. You get to win 2 free 1926 series Padrones will be sent to you. You need 2 more people from that. Mermaid American. All right, Mermaid American. You know what that's a reference to, right?
Mm-mm.
Our favorite Mermaid American with Newports. You know, remember our Black Mermaid, Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
It's a Mermaid American. All right, last one.
I'll go down. The cat one.
All right, Jworth 55. Jworth 55, congratulations. You just won yourself some free cigars. That's really, really great. Thank you so much for that. We're going to locals now. We'll see you in a couple of moments. Go to ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. Join the community. Shout out to those who just won the free cigars. That's really good. This literally, they're $25 each, so it's a $50 value. And I know like it's a hard time for a lot of people financially, and you guys give a lot back to us and support us there and kind of to stick around for the fight. So I wanted to make sure we gave you guys something back for sticking around. Anyways, we'll see you there in just a couple of moments. ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. We'll be back and we'll see you in a second.